Pete and Brian have a couple words they'd like to say before we get started.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, two things real quick is next week, on Monday, a week from tomorrow, it's a Juneteenth celebration at the Community Garden at 22nd and Delaware in Gary. There's going to be a big barbecue, and I got flyers here I'll give you out at the end of the service, after the service. I just want to, it starts at 3 o'clock. It'll be fun. So, and it's a community garden that people from this church and people in the community and our allies in the Poor People's Campaign and the Hagelbergs been working on. So, I hope you can join us there.
And you don't have to work in the garden to celebrate.
No, just come and celebrate. Come and eat, and there'll be plant giveaway and stuff. Also wanted to congratulate and urge everyone to be here next Sunday. I want to congratulate Barb for securing Professor Gregory Jones at the Juneteenth next Sunday service. He's a very well-known speaker, very, very powerful, and we're really lucky to have him. So please be here next Sunday, and thank you, Barb, for that.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm here to give you all an update on the pledge drive. We've done pretty well so far. We still have a lot of outstanding pledges, so if you haven't been called by, well, let me back up. If you haven't sent in your pledge form, you will be receiving a call from somebody on the board here fairly soon asking you where you'd like to be. As far as your pledge for next year, we got an important goal that we're trying to hit, a matching goal. So here's where we are, 19,675. 12,000 was what we're trying to match. It was given by an anonymous member. So we're getting close, but we need a few more additional gifts. Any new pledges or anybody that goes over the pledge that they did last year gets added to this total. So we're looking for help there, and I'll just leave this up here as a reminder.
That's a little unclear.
I will clear it up if you come see me. I will guarantee you I'll clear it up. So that's it. We are trying to, we won't have final numbers. Obviously today is the annual meeting. We won't have final numbers for what we have as far as income, but we do want to hear from as many of you. I'm ready and able and willing to take pledges today for anybody that hasn't had a chance to get theirs in. So thank you. That's it for me.
Good morning. And the few people that I called the last couple days, see Brian today and take care of your pledges. Thank you. Okay, welcome to the worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Hobart. My name is Barb Langel, and I participate in the life of the church by serving on the board of directors, among other things. We are a religious community of people with diverse beliefs and shared values. Our diverse beliefs are expressed in our 6 sources, and our shared values are expressed in our 7 principles, both of which can be found online at uua.org. Together we strive to grow spiritually, build community, and live our values in the world. I have a few announcements now. Of course, you know our annual meeting is today. There will be a packet of information in the parish hall. Also, check out the changes to the Constitution and bylaws posted on the trifold, or go to the website and pull up the proposed changes.
Barb, I was just going to mention, I forgot to mention, I do have a few extra copies printed, so if you want a hard copy, I do have a few extras from when we did the meeting earlier this year.
Thank you, Brian. Our rummage sale is next Friday and Saturday. Because of the annual meeting, we were not going to bring up anything till tomorrow, but Sandy was talking today, and if any of you strong people, all these muscles, would like to bring up the heavy stuff today, we'd really appreciate it, or anybody that could, any strong people that could show up tomorrow morning and help, and Saturday to clean up. Of course, we could use help all week, but I'm talking about muscles. Roz and I are very strong, but it's just a little bit too much even for. But we're not girls anymore. Okay, we are pleased to announce that Reverend Tom Bozeman has been called to be our full-time minister starting in August. The search committee worked very hard over the past few years to get somebody for our congregation. He is a listener, a deep thinker with a wonderful sense of humor. We look forward to him becoming a vital part of our church and a vital part of our church community. But until Pastor Tom joins us, we invite members or guests to share a special message with us. This morning, the service will be provided by me. This service will be recorded and will be available for future viewing on Facebook, YouTube, and the church website. Let your Facebook and Twitter friends know that you're attending worship with hashtag First Unitarian Church Hobart. Now please silence your devices, take a deep breath, and another, and join us in the spirit of reverence.
Good morning. If you would, please join me in lighting the chalice. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of life we share together.
Opening words are by Reverend Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. She's minister of the UU Church of Cheyenne, Wyoming. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? So bring all that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks, bring the emptiness you feel, for our siblings that are gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come and let us worship. The opening hymn is number 1053, How Could Anyone?
Please rise as you are able. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. All right.
Please keep standing for the affirmation of faith. Love is the doctrine of the church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now is the time where we greet our neighbors. Please wave, smile, let everyone know that you're glad they're here. This congregation expresses our greatest joys and deepest sorrows in community. We believe that a joy shared is magnified and a sorrow shared is diminished. We pause to listen to what arises from within our hearts. We will not pass the microphone, so please speak loudly. If you cannot hear, hopefully I could rephrase it for you. Anybody have a joy or share? Huh? for the child in all of us.
In all of us. All right, this is a book called Sam is My Sister by Ashley Rhodes Courteur, illustrated by Mackenzie Haley. Evan, Sam, and Finn did everything together. All summer they played with trains, climbed trees, and fished in the river behind Grandpa's house. They even went to outer space. Evan thought Sam and Finn were the perfect co-pilots. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Zoom, zoom, brothers to the moon. Evan cheered. At the library, they logged books about space to the checkout. They lugged books about space to the checkout desk. Wait, Sam shouted before running back to the shelves. Sam returned with a glittery book that had a long-haired princess on the cover. Why do you want a girl book instead of a space book? Evan asked. Books are for everyone to enjoy, Mom says. And girls can go to space too? Sam chimed in. Did you know donuts float in space? That I did not know. They all laughed, but Evan still wondered why Sam wanted that book. Why doesn't Sam want to look like us anymore? Evan whispered to Dad. Well, buddy, it's Sam's hair. Dad said a new hairstyle isn't hurting anyone. Evan didn't understand, but he saw the huge smile on Sam's face. On the first day of school, Evan put on his new clothes and showed Mom, but Sam wasn't ready. "I don't like shorts. I want to wear a dress." "Dresses are for girls," Evan said. "Why do you want to dress all wrong?" "I want to wear what I like," Sam said. Mom seemed to be thinking. She left the room a moment and came back with white hair bow. "How about this for now?" Mom clipped the bow on Sam's hair. Sam beamed. "It's perfect." At school, some older kids pointed and laughed at Sam. One tried to grab Sam's bow. "Why are you wearing that?" he asked. "Because I like it," Sam said. "Boys don't put stuff in their hair," another boy added. "Well, I do," Sam shouted and marched off. Evan glared at boys before running after Sam. "Do you want to play spaceship?" Evan asked, paging Commander Sam, but Sam stayed quiet. Evan tried again. "Zoom, zoom, brothers two." "I don't feel like playing," Sam said softly. The morning bell rang. "Line up," the teacher asked. Girls in one line, boys in another. "Oh, Miss Carson, where do I go?" Sam asked. Evan wondered why Sam didn't get in line next to him and the other boys. Miss Carson looked over at Sam. "How about you just walk next to me?" she said. Mom and Dad started letting Sam wear dresses after school, and on the weekends, Sam couldn't wait to change into skirts with bright tights and put on pretty shoes. Evan had never seen Sam so happy. "Why do you want to look like a girl?" Evan asked one day. "Because I am a girl," Sam said. On the inside, Sam drew a heart with a sparkly crayon. "I don't get it," Evan replied. He picked up a crayon and drew a moon next to Sam's heart. "So how do you know which hand to use when you color?" Sam asked. Evan stopped drawing for a moment. "I don't know. Drawing with my other hand doesn't feel right." "Well, being a boy doesn't feel right to me," Sam explained. "It's just who I am." Evan tried to draw a star with his other hand and got frustrated. "This is weird. I'm glad no one makes me do this all the time," Evan said. "Sam has been talking to us about something important," Mom said. "That night. And Dad and I have met with some doctors and experts. We learned that some people, the way they think and feel isn't inside doesn't match what they look like on the outside. Even though Sam was called a boy at birth, Sam identified as a girl. The word for that is transgender." "Yes, that's me," said Sam. "I want to be myself all the time." Dad smiled at Sam. "You are in charge of who you are and how you feel." "We are in charge of making sure you kids are happy and healthy," Mom added. "Well, I want to be in charge of dessert tonight," Finn said. "If you're a girl, can you still go fishing?" Finn asked. "Of course we can," Sam said. "Girls like to fish too, you know," Evan told Finn. "What about playing spaceships, planes, and trains?" Finn wondered. Sam laughed. "We can play anything with any toys. We better tell Mom we're going to need a bigger box." "Toy box," Finn said. At school, things weren't as easy. "Sam can't play with us because you're not a boy anymore," one boy said. "No, that's just a boy in a dress," said a girl. Evan got angry. "Hey, don't talk like that to my sister." He stood next to Sam until the mean kids walked away. "You called me your sister," Sam said with a grin. "Well, you are," Evan nodded. Evan knew that Sam was still the same Sam. That night at bedtime, Evan, Sam, and Finn watched as the moon rose and the stars sparkled through the clouds. "What about going to the moon?" Finn asked. "Well, you still want to come with us?" Evan asked. Princesses can go to the moon, Sam whispered back. Yes, they can, Evan said. Zoom, zoom, family to the moon. The end.
Okay, now I guess I'll introduce myself. It's going to be a short sermon because I know we have a long day. Plus, I procrastinated and didn't get around to finishing everything I wanted to do for this sermon. Okay, Harvey Milk, I don't know if anybody's heard of Harvey Milk. I figured you did. He was one of the first openly gay politicians serving on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. He asked designer Gilbert Baker to design the gay flag in the 1970s. It was originally designed to be 8 colors, one color to symbolize a different aspect of gay life. Because of difficulty obtaining pink material, Gilbert redesigned the first flag to be 7 colors, which debuted in 1978. When organizers of the Gay Pride Parade asked him to create a flag with an even number of colors for dual-sided display in 1979, he designed it to the 6-colored rainbow flag we know today, which gained popularity beyond San Francisco and soon became accepted as the symbol of pride, equality, and diversity. Red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for serenity, and purple for spirit. While preparing for today, I talked to several gay, transgender, and bisexual people of all generations. When I was in high school, I had a few gay friends. I didn't hang with a certain crowd. When I was in choir or practicing for concerts, I hung with them. When we had swim practice or meets, I hung with them. Whatever project I was working on depended on who I was hanging with. One guy in choir was an openly gay male who was very flamboyant and a lot of fun to be around. He was harassed and bullied, but he always seemed to come back laughing, although those close to him, like me, knew he was suffering inside. A female friend of mine was gay, but only let a few of us know. A few years after I graduated from high school, I learned that a girl I knew really well had committed suicide. Turned out she was gay, and I had no idea, and kept it hidden. She left a note saying she had the devil in her. She was a bright and kind girl, and she didn't have to suffer and die so young. So I was able to talk to a few gay and transgender people that are around my age, and they all said the same thing. They had to live a lie through high school. A couple of them sort of came out in college, but when going back home, they lived that lie. I actually cried when I heard this because it reminded me of the girlfriend I had in high school. Of course, you all know my daughter is gay. You might also want to know I have a transgender nephew. I did not question them for this service because I didn't want it to be too personal. So I did talk to a couple of their friends. One male said growing up as a gay teen in the 80s was terrifying and shame-inducing. He said all gay characters in movies at that time were negative, offensive, or flippant. The stigma and shame were so great that he had panic attacks. Another gay male said he grew up on the West Coast, and it wasn't that bad. There were cities with pride parades in the 70s, and many major cities had openly gay communities. He also said a gay man's safety was still at risk, especially and more so for black gays. Talking to teens today, many said that gays, transgenders, and bisexuals have a lot more support than they did years ago. Two of them said they have not come out yet. They told me they weren't all that worried about their peers or high school, but they were pretty sure they'd be disowned by their parents. All agreed that they do fear their parents' reaction more than being bullied in school. Last month, I attended 2 birthday parties for my great-grandchildren. And when I always add a book of some kind of social justice to their presents. At my first great-grandson's party, my 4-year-old great-granddaughter and her cousin mentioned to their moms that there was a little boy over there that had a pink skateboard. My granddaughter, her mom, had a talk with the girls, and one of the 4-year-olds said, "You know, maybe I'll marry him." My granddaughter told her that whatever man or woman she married would be fine, as long as they were kind. I was so proud to hear her say that. It actually brought tears to my eyes. This gives me hope for our future generations. 2 weeks later, when I had the other great-granddaughter's birthday party, I added a book called My Shadow is Pink. It was about a little boy that was a girl inside. Okay. While talking to Dee Dotson at Lakeshore Radio, she mentioned that some parents are actually sending their teens to conversion therapy. I was appalled. I remember hearing stories of this so-called therapy 40 or 50 years ago, which I thought was terrifying then, but I really didn't know this was still happening. Am I just not getting out there? Am I naive? Anyway, it's right now, I think it is appalling and unacceptable. People know better now. Most people know better, and they should be better. There have been some great strides made by the LGBT community over the past 50 years or so, but there is so much more that needs to be done. As a member of the FIA ministry and caring ministry, I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm going to be pushing to fight more and more for the gay community. Thank you. It is now time in our service for our offering. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. We make 2 offerings. The basket is for the general operating expense of the church, and the cup this month is going to Community Garden in Nichols Park in Gary.
The same place where we're having our Juneteenth celebration.
for your prayers, your service, your gifts, and your presence. Thank you. And now for the closing hymn, number 1014, Standing on the Side of Love, which Maggie will probably be leading us along.
You can do it. Please stand as you are able. Sing, make a joyful noise. You may be seated.
And now for closing words by Harvey Milk. All young people, regardless of sexual orientation or identity, deserve a safe and supportive environment in which to achieve their full potential. Thank you. Amen. Thank you to Jeremy and our choir. We will not be extinguishing the chalice. We will wait till after our annual meeting. We might have 10, 15 minutes to grab something to eat and grab your pamphlet packages. And thank you.